Well, the bail was $50,000. Our family home was worth $54,000.
Where was that?
So my father was still determined, no
Yeah.
matter the warnings of the police and
Wait,
so
hold on.
forth.
Where was the home worth 54,000?
At the time,
Yeah.
well, that was average.
Yep.
It was in Carlingford.
That was in Sydney.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm a Sydney girl.
Yeah.
I just got thrown into Adelaide 40 years ago, okay? So I came here kicking and screaming. But I'm a Sydney girl, born and bred, and there we were, and my parents signing over the family home to the courts for bail.
Yep.
Then, you got to remember, I'm the one who wanted nothing to do with this man. He made the headlines. He'd abandoned his family.
Let's go back to who this man is first, right? I want to go back to who was he when he was at his peak, and what was the downfall? What happened? What did that look like?
Okay, so he was high-flying solicitor who really was a conveyancer more than he was a lawyer. And in New South Wales, lawyers are conveyancers, so that's something to appreciate. He was an investor in property, and he invested quite a lot into some properties in King's Cross and other places. He went into partnership with other people. So he lived the life. It was a very affluent life. He lived on the north shore of Sydney in a very comfortable home in Wahroonga. In fact, I have met a guy who was at around about 10 who used to go to the Glenville pool parties. He drove the Mercedes-Benz. He had other cars. He had an office in Pitt Street, Sydney. He was just a man about town. He was respected. He was wealthy. He became super wealthy for his day when he was just 30, when his father died. And I think because he didn't have any mentors in his life, the burden of managing wealth is quite significant. Even though he had assets, he had a home, he had a car, he had flats and real estate, which was his passion. He loved real estate. He couldn't sell. It was one of those tight places where you were asset rich and cash poor. Have you ever been there?
Yeah.
Oh, right. So he couldn't sell,
Yep.
and that was tricky.
Yeah.
It was tight, very, very tight. He couldn't even get a loan. He was really beside himself. He was naughty. There's no doubt about that. He was in positions of trust. For example, he was the honorary treasurer of Skeggs,
So when you say he was naughty, how was he naughty?
touching other people's money,
Yep.
OPM.
Yep.
It's one way to borrow it. It's another way to touch it illegally. You've got to understand he was in a place of trust as a lawyer.
Yep.
He had a trust account, and that's a no-go zone.
So I guess how flippant was he, or how much of a bad position was he in when this when this got done, right? Like was he flippantly just playing with other people's money, or was it a desperate time?
It was desperate time just
Yep.
for him to survive.
Yeah.
It was all about cash flow.
Yeah, so what I briefly said to you before we started was I did resonate with this story a bit, right? Like, it's funny, like I was in a position at the start of last year where my business was in a really tough spot, and I was hundreds of thousands of dollars, not at the scale that he was, but I was hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, and I was at risk of losing everything that I'd built, right? And it's funny that you've got all these morals and ethics and stuff like that, but when you're actually facing the fire and you're going to lose everything that you've worked for, things start looking very different. So I'm curious about his headspace at that time, or how he looks back on it.
Well, as I understand it, he simply wanted to have a loan. He just couldn't get it from the usual places.
Yeah.
So he borrowed, in his mind, it was borrowing money because he knew his own wealth would easily cover it all. And that's well documented by his quotes, by the media. He knew he had so much wealth that all he needed was this amount, and then he'd pay it back. And he often would say, if the ball had bounced the right way, I would have been a hero, you know? So...
That's what Sam Bankman-Fried said as well.
Sorry?
Do you know Sam Bankman-Fried? No? It's not going to matter then.
No, but in his mind, it was temporary. Because even the fraud squad said he did not deliberately steal from people to benefit himself, in the sense of Christopher Skase. You probably don't even know who he is. But, you know...
We're talking different generations.
Yeah. Well, he siphoned off money for his own personal gain and wealth. Jeff didn't go out and buy a boat, didn't go and buy another car, didn't go and, abuse the money. He just simply wanted to manage the 24% interest rates.